On November 24, 1971, a man identifying himself as Dan Cooper hijacked a Northwest Orient Airlines flight, demanding a ransom of $200,000 and parachutes before jumping from the plane into the wilderness of the Pacific Northwest. To this day, D.B. Cooper's true identity and fate remain a mystery. In this video, we'll explore the events of that fateful day and the subsequent investigation that followed. Who was D.B. Cooper? The true identity of D.B. Cooper remains unknown, and his real name has never been definitively determined. The hijacker used the alias Dan Cooper when he purchased his plane ticket, but it is believed that this name was likely an alias or a pseudonym. The name D.B. Cooper originated from a miscommunication between law enforcement and the media. A reporter initially wrote that the hijacker's name was D.B. Cooper, but this was later corrected to Dan Cooper. However, the misreported name D.B. Cooper became widely used in the media and has since become synonymous with the hijacker's identity. Despite years of investigation and numerous leads, the FBI has never been able to definitively identify the hijacker or determine his real name. The case remains one of the most intriguing unsolved mysteries in American history, and the identity of D.B. Cooper may never be known for certain. ACE-T1, the hijacking. On the afternoon of November 24, 1971, Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 took off from Portland, Oregon, bound for Seattle, Washington. Shortly after takeoff, a man who identified himself as Dan Cooper, later mistakenly referred to as D.B. Cooper, handed a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner, indicating that he had a bomb in his briefcase and demanding $200,000 in ransom and 4 parachutes. After landing in Seattle to collect the ransom, the plane took off again with Cooper and the crew on board. Cooper instructed the pilot to fly to Mexico City at a low altitude and without pressurization. Cooper donned one of the parachutes and jumped from the plane with the ransom money over the rugged terrain of the Pacific Northwest. AC-2, the investigation. The FBI immediately launched an extensive manhunt for D.B. Cooper, using helicopters and ground troops to scour the wilderness for any sign of the hijacker. The investigation eventually led to the discovery of some of Cooper's belongings, including a clip-on tie, a pair of sunglasses, and 2 of the 4 parachutes in the woods near Ariel, Washington, in 1978. Despite extensive investigations, the FBI was unable to identify the hijacker, and the case remained unsolved. In 2016, the FBI officially announced that they were suspending the investigation, citing the lack of new leads and the case's dwindling resources. ACE-3, theories and speculations. Over the years, numerous theories and speculations have emerged regarding D.B. Cooper's identity and fate. Some believe that he perished in the wilderness, either from the jump itself or from exposure to the elements. Others suggest that he was an experienced skydiver who survived the jump and lived out his life in anonymity. One of the most popular theories regarding D.B. Cooper's identity is that he was actually a man named Robert Rackstraw. Rackstraw was a Vietnam veteran and a pilot with a history of criminal activity. He had previously been arrested and charged with several crimes, including extortion, embezzlement, and fraud. Proponents of this theory suggest that Rackstraw left behind clues that link him to the D.B. Cooper case. For example, in 1978, a letter was received by the Oregonian newspaper that contained phrases and words that matched those used in the original hijacking note. The letter was signed D.B. Cooper, leading some to speculate that Rackstraw was the hijacker. Additionally, in 2018, a team of investigators claimed to have uncovered new evidence that implicated Rackstraw in the hijacking. The team discovered a hidden message in a letter sent by the hijacker to the Seattle Times, which they believed pointed to Rackstraw as the culprit. The message contained a series of letters and numbers that, when decoded, spelled out Rackstraw's name. Despite the evidence, Rackstraw has always maintained his innocence and has never been officially charged with the crime. Another popular theory regarding D.B. Cooper's fate involves a stack of money that was found by a boy named Brian Ingram on the beach near the Columbia River in 1980, 9 years after the hijacking. The money, which totaled $5,800, was found in 3 bundles, all of which were severely degraded and deteriorated. The serial numbers on the bills matched those of the ransom money paid to D.B. Cooper, leading investigators to believe that Cooper had died in the jump and that the money had been carried downstream by the river. Some people believe that this money was part of the ransom that D.B. Cooper took during the hijacking. However, the FBI has never confirmed or denied this theory, and it remains a subject of speculation. Some people also believed that D.B. Cooper was able to hijack another plane and escape undetected. Supporters of this theory suggest that Cooper had help from accomplices and that the plane used for the escape was likely smaller and more inconspicuous than the Boeing 727 used for the hijack. Despite decades of investigations and countless theories, the true identity and fate of D.B. Cooper remain a mystery. The hijacking and subsequent escape continue to captivate the American public, and the legend of D.B. Cooper remains an enduring part of American folklore. Perhaps one day, new evidence or information will come to light, and the mystery will finally be solved. However, the case remains open to this day, and the FBI continues to welcome any new information or leads related to the case. The mystery of D.B. Cooper continues to fascinate and captivate people around the world, and it remains one of the most enduring unsolved mysteries in American history. But for now, the case of D.B. Cooper remains one of the most fascinating unsolved mysteries in American history.